Hey guys, has this lockdown made you lose track of your fitness goals? Are you starting your resolution for 2021 and you want to lose weight but need some help? Introducing my affordable workout plans for men and women. With packages starting at $5, this offer can't be beat. Go to radicallatino.com to find out more. Hey guys, do you have a product you want more eyes on? Advertise with the Radical Latino Show with over 10K podcast downloads and the number 25 spot on the 55 All Latin podcast list. You'll want your product heard on everyone's phones and cars. Go to radicallatino.com/contacts and start advertising today.
Playing the Radical Latino Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands in the air. The New York's very own
Latino is taking you to another level.
I think there's more radicals than Sivo. Radical Latino, you're buffing it. The radical point of views, I think his views are actually more dangerous.
Hear that? It's like the pulse in the street. A hole in the chest.
Yo! Welcome back to another episode, my people. Welcome back to the Radical Latino Show. It's your host, the Radical Latino, aka number 17 on all Latin podcast lists, aka number 24 on all Bronx influencer and podcast influencer list, and Mr. Unsuable for 53 weeks running. What's going on? I hope everybody is doing great. I hope everybody survived that little tornado storm and all that. We're going to definitely talk about that. You know what I'm saying? This episode right now is sponsored by my merch store. So if you guys want to hit up the merch or see what it is about, go to my merch store. The link down below at Teesprings. Or if you guys want to go to my website, radicallatino.com, and go to the merch spot. There's a link right there. It sends you right there to the merch store. We got plenty of awesome merches out there. You know, the Latin unity, the black and brown unity, the It's in My DNA Mexican, Dominican, Puerto Rican, Cuban, Brazilian, Haitian, you know, and all those other stuff. So definitely go check that out. I'm saying now, I hope some of y'all, you know, outside of the whole C virus, I hope some of y'all are really, you know, holding it down, and y'all didn't get affected as much as other people did due to Hurricane Ida. That hurricane hit the south to the northeast crazy. It hit us like crazy. I heard that Louisiana got hit bad. Parts of I think was it Tennessee or something like that got hit bad. New York, New York, we were flooded. New York was flooded like an idiot. I decided to just spend some time down in the city and was gonna drive home that night. Oh my god, took me 3 hours to get home. All Manhattan, you know, certain places were blocked in Central Park. I couldn't even go there. Had to loop around twice. Had to take the long distance. I didn't even take the FDR. Took the long distance to the GW. Finally got on the GW, you know, through the Bronx. You feel me? Finally got through the GW through the Bronx, and boom. No, actually, no, BS. I got through the GW from the Heights. My fault. Finally got through the GW on the Heights, you know, the upper part. I thought I was scot-free. Man, once I hit State Route 4, right when I hit State Route 4, flooded. I'm like, damn. So I gotta like drive my van all up in, you know what I mean? Good thing I didn't have the other car. I got two cars, by the way. Good thing I didn't have the other car. Yo, I would have been in a boat. I would have needed a boat. You know what I'm saying? But I survived. It took me 3 hours to get home, but I survived. Highways were flooded, trees were down. I took another spot because it was a huge roadblock. I took another spot. I'm thinking, I'm doing my thing. Man, listen. I thought I was doing my thing. Listen, there was a huge pile up. I had literally go local. The GPS kept on rerouting me back. I kept on putting, I got Waze. I was like, nah, that joint is closed. That joint is closed. I had to go local. 5 to 10 miles off of the highway to go to the other entrance of the same highway, just so I could avoid all that pile up. You know what I mean? Insane. Took me 3 hours to get home, but I got home. I was nervous as hell, but I got home and all of that is all good. Hopefully, all of y'all didn't go through anything crazy. Also, I know Andrew, Andrew showed the Andrew 10-26-101 show. He hit me up talking about, I hope you good. I hope you survived the hurricane, brother. I did, and I hope you did too. You know what I mean? I don't know if California got hit that hard due to the hurricane. I don't know if Florida got hit that hard, but if it didn't, then y'all lucky. You know what I'm saying? But New York got flooded. Like, train stations became waterfalls, and listen, it was insane. You feel me? It was insane. So hopefully everybody, survive all of that, all of that good stuff. Now, I put out a recent video of our number one racist Rancho. I put out a video about him. He used to be a rapper. All right, so he used to be a rapper. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. 1 or 2 songs up in that whole SoundCloud mixtape joint, pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie. 1 or 2 songs was pretty decent. Every other stuff is straight up garbage. It's straight up trash. Everything else is straight up like, I was like, wait a minute. You used to rap. You were real cool with black folks, and now you're racist. Like, fam, we see right through it. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Go check it out on my YouTube channel. It was actually pretty interesting. Something else that I should also be checking out is the interview I did with the indigenous podcast. I did an interview. The link will be down below. Definitely go check that out. Give it some love. And that interview went great. There was a couple of trolls up in there. It is what it is. You can't really control them, but it is what it is. But we had a great conversation about identity. And I think you guys should definitely check that out. After you guys check it out, go to my YouTube page on my community tab and vote. Because this is just something we're workshopping. You know what I'm saying? Something we're workshopping what Latin people should classify themselves. Because there's going to be people that classify themselves as indigenous, and there's going to be people that classify themselves as black. That's cool. But there's going to be people in between. So we were hashing it out. Well, not hashing it out. We were basically workshopping it. We workshopped it to basically say, should we be called copper or bronze? And for some reason, I was really feeling the copper label. I don't know. So I got a poll up there during the week. During next week, I'll see what happened. But so far, people have been actually voting for that label. And so far, 42 people voted, right? And the copper label got 71%. The bronze got 29%. So copper, I don't know. Copper's is winning. I'm saying copper is winning. So I want to see what you guys think. You know what I'm saying? I want to see what you guys think. Hopefully you guys could probably come up with something better. Mind you, this is not going to be set in stone, but this is just a concept. Because And the way everything worked out is fantastic, because there's a petition. I believe it is orchestrated by Mexican Excellence. Shout out to Mexican Excellence, by the way. If you guys are not following her, you guys should definitely follow her. A petition is out talking about, and by the way, the petition link will be down below. There's a petition that's out basically trying to force all media outlets out there to stop referring to our people as Hispanic, Latinos, and Latinx. And I agree 100%. I agree 100% because I've said this plenty of times. The identity of Latin people have been used to become everybody else's benefit. Our identity is an identity of captured people. When you are a group of captured people and you don't know your history whatsoever, you are going to be given labels that you don't know nothing about, but you will stand by and die for. I'm gonna repeat that one more time. You will be given labels that you don't know nothing about, but you will stand by and die for. There's a Hispanidad movement, even the word that says it itself, with a bunch of people that ain't even Spaniards, that don't even look like a lick of Spanish, but yet will die for that Hispano label. That says a lot. That says a lot. That says that white supremacy really did a number in their psyche. White supremacy really got them hooked, line, and sinker. That's what it says. That's what it says. You feel what I'm saying? So, because of that, there's a petition now, and I signed the petition. So far, there's, I think, 300 people signed the petition. I don't know too much about petitions. For the small research that I've done, it says if you get 1,000 or more people to sign the petition, it will actually go and you gotta put it up to Congress, and I believe Congress will do something, or the census board will do something, because a lot of people was asking for it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely go check that petition out, and if you agree to that, go definitely sign it and stuff like that, you know. More interviews on the way, so definitely look out for that. I got a lot of things lined up to do and all that, so definitely look out for all of that. Now I'm going to read episode number 54, the comments for episode number 54. All people of color are prisoners of war. Shout out to Nelly Fuller. He's the one that came up with that concept. I'm the one that, you know, took it and made it into an episode. So shout out to Nelly Fuller for that. Now, Decolonize Alexis says, shout out to Nelly Fuller. Yes, I'm just dying to read his book. Our people, indigenous, brown, black, or Latin people are just native when it comes to white supremacy. Unfortunately, the personal story that Brother Radical told, I can relate. I used to know a black girl in high school that she was adopted by white people, and there was something funny style about her too. She had the same mannerisms. She wanted to be around mostly white folks too. I'm like, what the F? 100% true. There's something weird about that when it comes to certain folks, certain non-white people, mind you, who get adopted by white supremacists. They adopt this type of weird fascination, like you saved me or something type. It's weird. It's really weird. And they start adopting this type of negativity towards them, their own people, or people who are closely related to them. It's really weird. You know what I'm saying? InfoDen said, interesting title. All right, shout out to InfoDen. Hopefully you saw the episode. You know what I'm saying? Truth Teacher said, even during slavery, there was communities of free people of color. They didn't have any illusions that they were living under a system of oppression, even when they were richer than many white folks. They always knew that one time it was, and what? They always knew what time it was, and they were the ones who initiated the fight against racism and slavery in general. Yeah, a couple of people with money doesn't negate the truth, but he's right. There was a few black folks with money, and they knew what time it was because they were always constantly reminded about it. You know what I'm saying? They were always constantly reminded about it. Whitney Dell says, sorry for the passing of your friend. Yeah, shout out to Jay. You know, RIP to him. Yeah, he was my homie. He's the reason why I got the vaccine. Hopefully it's not a stupid move or is a good move. I don't know. Dominican Warrior, one of these trolls again. Look at these names. Dominican Warrior. I'm a warrior. I'm a Dominican Warrior. Man, you ain't a warrior now. Crying about something again. Yeah. Well, me telling people about our struggle and how white supremacy, the system of white supremacy has us in, is not crying, it's informing. You know what I mean? You are the one crying about Haitians that is invading nothing. Okay, so it is what it is, you know. Juan says you need to check out Macho. I'm sorry. Yeah, you need to check out Mancho and his panel of Afro-Latinos and they threat Dominican Republic. You need to respond to him ASAP. First of all, this whole episode is a response to that live stream, by the way. If you guys aren't aware, you guys are now. This whole live stream, this whole podcast episode is a response to that live stream, by the way. And I'm gonna go point for point and give my thoughts, and then, you know, from there it is what it is, right? All right. Now, with that being said, we're done with all the updates and infos for y'all fine people, right? Okay. So our first topic of the day is iPhone charger cable password stealing. Oh my god, what is that? So now I'm gonna do something new. Every time I have a news article or something interesting that happened during the week and I'm talking about it, I'm gonna have a news article linked to that. And all of these news articles is linked to where it's gonna send you the link to is my website. My website where the article that I have up is from. You know what I'm saying? So just that's going forward now. You know what I mean? It's starting now. So from this time forward. Anyway, iPhone charge cable pass. So there was a team of researchers that actually developed a small chip inside the lightning cable of iPhone chargers. Small chip. And when you plug it in, it will easily retrieve the password for that said iPhone. Now, back a few years ago, there was a thing that was developed in China, which was called, I think, was it the iBreaker box? I believe that was the word. The iBreaker box. Now, what this iBreaker box did was the same thing, right? But it was a lot bigger, a lot clunkier. You connect the iPhone and you just press run. And it will run all the sequences of passwords of a 4-digit password. And it will tell you how long it will take to run all the sequences. To the point where it will run all the sequences non-stop without having the iPhone actually cancel out, with 10 attempts. So it will do that. It will run all the password sequences without it having to time out. You know what I'm saying? So they had this thing out. It was in the black market. You can even buy it on Amazon at that time from China for like $100 and something, right? A couple of places up in the Bronx actually had these type of eye breaker box type of things. Now there's these lightning cables with chips inside of them that will steal your password. Now this is the thing that I am questioning, right? I'm questioning this. The iPhone has a feature in its security settings that you could choose to put on or take out. The security feature is when the phone is locked, do you allow a cable to be connected while your phone is locked into a computer? Basically, the phone will lock itself up and not allow you to perform anything with that cable inserted in the phone when it's connected to a computer when the phone is locked. It won't allow you to do anything. You have to physically, not even Face ID or anything, physically type in the password and press trust, and then go to your computer and press trust so that could so it could work. You feel what I'm saying? There's a feature there. I think it's called USB accessibility or something like that. Something in the security features part of the iPhone. Now, what these developers are saying, that this chip bypasses or could bypass that type of feature, which basically screams, it basically screams that any phone, anything in technology could be hacked, is vulnerable, is not secure 110%. That's what it says. And to me, I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. Now, from the article that I wrote, I wrote some of it, right? For the article, there's an X-ray part. That even shows the chip right here, right? And it says the cables contain a small implant chip, and they are physically the same size as a actuator cable, making it extremely difficult to identify the malice type of cable. The implant itself apparently takes up around half of the length of the USB connector plastic shell, allowing the cable to continue to operate as normal. The cable made part of the several petitions testing tools by security researchers known as the MG have now entered mass productions being sold. Cybersecurity vendors hack that. Ooh, this is being sold already. The cables are available in the numbers of versions including Lightning, USB-C, and it could be visually mimic cables from a range of accessory manufacturers, making them a noteworthy threat to device security. So this article it's in my website, but this article came from Mac Rumors, and it's insane. It says a lot. It basically says a lot. It says that these cables are they're going to end up in the wrong hands. And obviously the iPhone is a luxury item. The iPhone is a phone that everybody goes for. We gotta be honest. It is. It's a phone that everybody goes for. There's even, I think, some studies that say people will take you serious or see you as like some type of way, or as a businessman, or whatever the case is, or a higher status if they see you with an iPhone. It says a lot. It says a lot. But they're not only doing this to lightning cables, the iPhone cables. They're doing this with every other cable out there, and we don't know who might be infected. We just don't know. So I'm just saying, Look out for that. You know what I mean? Be very aware of what is going on. I know some of y'all ain't tech heads, but at least y'all know. You know what I'm saying? I'm moving on to my next topic. White supremacists praise the Taliban. Oh man, what happened? So apparently, there's white supremacists on message boards praising the fact that the Taliban took over Afghanistan, and these people are praising it. Which now the intelligence community, the U.S. government is seeing this as a huge red flag, and now they're basically looking into white supremacists a lot more serious, which I don't understand why they didn't do that in the first place. Which I don't understand. Again, I understand that non-white people are always a threat, and you always got to see them as malicious, see them as perpetrators. I get that, but at the end of the day, why did y'all not? Don't y'all know homegrown terrorism is a thing? You feel me? Homegrown terrorism is a thing. They go out of their way to protect white folks. They go out of the way to protect white supremacists because they have to get their narrative straight. You know what I'm saying? They have to keep their narrative in order. So that's why you see certain people who obviously did racial hate crimes, and they say, well, you know, he just had a bad day. You know what I'm saying? So it says a lot. So what they're finding out is that these white supremacists are in chat rooms saying that they did it right. This is how we should have done it, and they're referring to January 6th. Mind you, these are the white supremacists who claim to be extremely patriotic, right? You gotta obey the law. You have to. Why don't you just pull your self up from your bootstraps and all this other stuff? These are the same people who are now praising terrorists who attacked this country. They're praising them. Look at the craziness about this. They're praising these people. It's insane. It's insane. And it shows that there's no lick of patriotism whatsoever. None. Nothing. There's nothing about patriotism with white supremacists whatsoever, because they find excuses for non-white people to get victimized under the law. Because if you are a person that is super patriotic, America first and all this other stuff, that means you have to hold the constitutional law by the book. You have to abide by that, right? And if you see that non-white people's constitutional rights are constantly being violated on a daily, and you're finding excuses for that, and you're calling yourself patriotic, that's a crock of BS. That means you are for the white supremacist team. That's all BS. That whole patriotism, it's all for show. It's all for show. It goes out the window. You feel what I'm saying? It goes straight out the window. It's all nonsense. Because when it comes to real patriotism, is people calling out white supremacy. When it comes to real patriotism, it's people calling out the good and the bad of what's going on. That's what real patriotism is. Regardless of who is in your country and who's not. That's what real patriotism is. Edward Snowden is a real patriot in my eyes. And there's plenty of examples on why he is. You know what I'm saying? plenty of examples on why he is. So when it comes to things of that nature, when it comes to certain people praising a terrorist organization, might I add, as that's how they did it and that's how we should have done it, says a lot. It says a lot. And now the US is running scared. They're talking about, how can this happen? How can this, are we missing? Yes, you guys are. There's been plenty of people besides me beating the drum that white supremacy is a terror group. White supremacy is something that we should be focusing on and we should not be ignoring. White supremacy exists and we should stop ignoring it for what it is. There's been plenty of people beating that drum, talking about that. Plenty of people. But yet, it gets ignored. You know why? Because America doesn't want to have that type of conversation. America has always shut itself from the serious conversation that we need to have, and it's called, what are we going to do about white supremacy? You know why? Because if America starts to have that serious conversation, then that's when you have to talk to Billy and Susan and let them know, well, guess what? All the things that you earned isn't really because of your hard work. Majority of that came from the benefit of being white. How hard of a hit, of an ego hit, is that gonna be? That's gonna be a massive ego hit, isn't it? That's gonna be a massive ego hit, isn't it? That's gonna be a massive ego hit. Of course it is. Of course it is. Because now you have to go and explain, well, you know, the reason why the Statue of Liberty got changed is because, you know, white supremacy and, you know, we free black folks, but that didn't stop us from practicing white supremacy and all of this other nonsense. Now, blah, 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 blah. It's going to have that hard conversation. White folks, white America has always ran away from that type of conversation. Has always ran away and found excuses not to have it, because when you really want to have it and you want to sit down and actually listen in and not deflect and not move the goalposts or none of that other stuff, that's when they'll sit down and say, goddamn, my bad. My bad. But I don't blame them. To be honest with y'all, I do not blame them. I don't. Because white supremacy, it's not about taking fairness. It's not about being right. It's not about, I'm going to take my L and go home. It's not about that. It's literally about making a system for myself to go over you, because I'm inadequate in my position, so I have to make a system to make sure I go above you. That's what white supremacy is. And the harsh realization to actually understand that, the harsh realization to actually see that for what it is, yeah, it's a bitter pill to swallow. It's a huge bitter pill to swallow. The same bitter pill that some of these Hispanistas need to take. You know what I'm saying? Some of these Hispanistas need to take and know that Spaniards don't see y'all the same. Stop trying to rewrite history and shake it and bake it and twist it this way and flip it the other way and all this other stuff. Stop. Y'all lost. That's it. Black legend my ass. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys find it interesting? Do you guys find it crazy that these people are praising the Taliban. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. Now, moving on to my final topic until the main topic. Native population grew due to Latinos. Whoa! Oh my God! Oh my God! Now, I made an article. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Pocho. You know, shout out to him, formerly known as Hermano Perspective. You know, he came up with a different perspective. You know, but shout out to him because he brought this to my attention. And I made an article in the title. I said the term white Hispanic is becoming a myth with the new 2020 census identifications, right? And it's basically said that the native population on the 2020 census under Latinos have grown triple. Has grown triple. For the last 10 years, it was always growing by 10. From, I think, was it 2000, it was 4.9. 2010, it was 5.2. And now it's 9.8. It's literally gone triple. It exploded. And this is why. Because, like I've said before, and I'm going to say it again, there is an awakening happening that we are seeing. There's an awakening happening that we should be a part of. There's an awakening happening that is important, and I am happy for it. The awakening is that we as Latin people are starting to learn about our history and know that the racial classification here in America is very, very important. And yes, we're not white. As much as some of the Hispanistas trying to make themselves white, we are not white whatsoever. We are not. The reason why we are not white is because where are the white benefits that we're supposed to be getting for being said white? You know what I'm saying? We gotta keep it real. We gotta keep it real. What are these? Where are these benefits? You know what I'm saying? Where are these benefits? There's no white benefits. There's nothing. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing. Because white folks really share white benefits with other real white folks, not with us. So, throughout this article, they explain how now Latin people, majority Mexicans, Central Americans, South Americans are identifying with native. And that's a very, very important thing. It's very important because self-identification is very important. That's the reason why I still believe that we need to come up with our own racial classification. Seriously, that's what I feel like we need to do. So, with this article, it basically says that there's a lot of Latin people. There's a lot of Latin people who are not identifying as white and also identifying as mixed, which is a huge blow to white supremacy. And also, it's a huge blow to that narrative that Latin people like to claim white. You know what I'm saying? It's a huge blow to that narrative also. So, it goes to show that we are waking up. There's an awakening going on, and we're in the forefront of it. And I'm telling you right now, everybody that's a part of this movement of Black and Latin unity, everybody that's a part of the movement against white supremacy, I'm telling you right now, we are being part of history. We are being part of a very important stable in history. We're also being a part of a very important stable in our own history. I'm telling y'all right now that this isn't just a one-off. And this isn't some random shit that some podcaster is doing on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling y'all right now, this is serious. And this is very important. Our identity is very, very important. Our identity, once you start identifying yourself as something, the power that you get is going to be unremarkable. Nobody could shake you and tell you what you are, because you're going to say no, and you're going to list off things on why you're not this thing that they're forcing you down your throat that you are. That's the reason why the majority of people are denying Latinx. The majority of people are denying Latinx. And Latinx doesn't even make sense, to be honest with you. I understand the word Latin, why they would use it. But if they really meant to be non-binary and to be decolonized and all this other stuff, y'all would have came up with a different term instead of just putting Latin, putting an X on Latin. If y'all really want to be non-binary and have no gender, say Latin. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Or come up with a different term that I've been trying to come up with that identifies us. Why? Because the word Latin itself is still shrouded by Eurocentricism. You know what I'm saying? Even though some of us were part of the whole classification and naming, that doesn't mean a damn thing. We're still under that system. We're still under that system, and we need to understand that. So, this article disproves the whole Latin people want to be white and all this other stuff. This proves the whole thing. This proves it. And the other census that's gonna come out in 2030 is gonna show a further growth of native populations. And shout out to them. I've always said from the beginning of my podcast till now, I've never changed, that Latin people should only be identifying with either two things: black or native. That's it. That is it. If you ethnically look white and physically look white, then you're an Anglo, Hispanic, and we don't need you around. That's all it is. Because let's be honest, those are the ones like the Nick Fuentes and all that other stuff that give us a bad rap. They're white first, and then everything else second. This is something we gotta understand. The majority of Latin people who are light skinned or whatever the case is should be identifying with either two things: black or native. That's it. That's it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's it. And anybody that doesn't want to fall into that, that's cool. We have a word called bronze. That's something in between. You know, copper. That's something in between. Either way, that's something that's in between that. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I've always been saying. And anybody could check the history of Radical Latino on what the stuff I've been saying. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all love going back. Some of the haters love going back to catch the things I've been saying. You know what I'm saying? I've never changed up. Y'all could go back, do y'all Googles. You know what I mean? Do y'all little research and stuff. Anyways, moving on to the main topic at hand. Oh my God, main topic at hand. Racist Hispanics are mad about the Afr-Latino term. This is basically a response, and be very clear, this is basically a response to Macho's live stream about Afro-Latinos. I'm not going to talk about him physically. I'm not going to make fun of anything. I'm just going to go point for point. On that live stream, he said a lot of truth. Things that actually happened. For example, he said that how can Dominicans be classified as racist, right? If during the Haitian occupation, they allowed Haitians in for 20-something years, they decided to exile from Haiti because, and this is true, because the Haitians weren't doing what they needed to be done economically and all this other stuff, right? Which is true. Had nothing to do with race, which is 100% true. Another thing he said is that Dominicans, mind you, he's just stuck on this whole Dominican thing for some reason, because Dominicans ain't that serious. They're not the majority of Latin America, so whatever. Anyway, Dominicans, right? He said Dominicans can't be racist, right? Because I think he said, is it because something about, I forgot what he said. He said something about like it can't be racist because of something. I forgot, but I basically agree. I agree to that. I was like, okay, he's right. He's actually right. He's right on that term. I completely forgot what he said. It's gonna come to me, but he was right on that term that I agreed. I'm like, okay, I give you that. Now this is where I disagree. He basically made a statement and a question, and he pretty much agreed to it himself, saying that is Afro-Latino a term that you identify making you an enemy to Dominicans? Again, putting yourself in the box of just being Dominicans, you could have just said Latinos or whatever the case is, but it is what it is. Dominicans is not that serious, you know. Dominicans do not, everybody don't revolve around the earth of Dominicans, all right? They're not that serious. But anyway, so that's what he said, right? Which is completely dumb. And he put out a stat that try to contradict the fact of, do Dominicans classify themselves as black, right? He put out a stat and said, well, Dominicans don't classify themselves as black, da-da-da. All right. I don't know where he got that stat, so I actually looked it up, and I found the most recent stat. 74% of Dominicans in the Dominican Republic classify themselves as mixed. 74%. 9% black, 3% white, and I think was it 2% other, right? So the white population is actually pretty low up in the Dominican Republic. The majority of them are saying that they're mixed. Okay. Again, that's that classification. Now, this is where it gets weird for some reason, and it goes to the anti-blackness and racism and idiocy, the idiot type of mentality from these people, because they go and say, well, black Americans are forcing us to say that we're black. What? I have never, ever heard a black American talk about say you're black or something else, or something's gonna happen. What? I've never heard that. The proof that he gives is the comedian, and the comedian talking about New York City is the only place that he's been at where Dominicans will not say that they're black. He's like, no papi, I'm no black, I'm Dominican, papi, I'm Dominican. And then he makes a joke saying, if Obama gives reparations to all black people from slavery, Dominicans will be the first one to be like, papi, my grandfather was a slave, you know what I mean? Which is hilarious. True. That does not prove that black Americans are trying to force Dominicans into this black box. That does not prove that. What comedy is, comedy points out a inconsistency in a group of people, makes fun of it, and that's it. That's all it is. Because that 74% of Dominicans claiming mix is a crock of BS. Mix is not a race. When you go to Dominican Republic, the majority of Dominicans are black. That's what it is. The majority of Dominicans are black. That's it. That's all. That's all it is. And I'm gonna talk about Macho in you know, in a few more minutes, and then I'm gonna give my thoughts on the whole Afro-Latino term. Now, him, just like Rancho, both racist, right? Say that Afro-Latino actually came and derived from these liberal universities, which it didn't. And the reason why they use Afro-Latino is a way to go against the Latino community. No, it's not. That is the most idiotic thing I've ever heard. First of all, for those who don't know, Afro-Latino, the term, was created in New York by a group of Afro-Cubans. The term Afro-Latino was created by Latin people. For those who don't know, look it up. It started by Afro-Cubans because they wanted to make a move, a political move, to basically say that the African Latin people who are now being classified Afro-Latinos are being marginalized in Latin America and also in America, which is 100% true. 100% true. A lot of people like Rancho likes to point out that Latin America isn't racist, and then he gives this little story that never happened, right? Saying that him and his homie Jamal went to a Mexican party. Everybody got felt some type of way until he said, well, my homie Jamal, he's actually Cuban, and everybody started feeling better. Doesn't that prove racism in the Latin community? Why would they feel some type of way in the beginning? Couldn't they just assume that he was Cuban? That doesn't make sense. So again, there is racism in the Latin community. Rancho, Chivo, Macho, all of them prove it. They prove it. They're in the embodiment of it. Even that Phoenix dude, he proves it, even though he sounds like he got peanut butter stuck on the top of his mouth. They prove it. They prove it. Now, the Afro-Latino term was not created by liberal universities. It was created by Latin people in a social cause. That's what it was created for. And it's 100% true. Look at Latin American news, novelas, TV shows. All of them are either Anglo-Hispanics or light-skinned Latinos. That's what they are. That's what they're showing. And that's what they show. They always show that. So the Afro-Latino label is a true label. It's a true label because of people that were marginalized. Obviously. Just like every other thing up in America was when white supremacy controls it, it always has to go with anti-blackness. In the Latin community, it's nothing less. There's anti-blackness in and outside the Latin community. Afro-Latin people get marginalized. It's 100% true. That's all it is. And they were, in that stream, they were making a weird comparison. Like, super weird comparison. Like, Dominicans who doesn't claim black automatically, you know, they, you know what I mean? Like, this is the thing. In Dominican Republic, there's a lot of people that claim black, but don't know how to make the racial distinction to express that they're not black Americans, okay? So, in Dominican Republic, you will hear a black Dominican call themselves moreno, meaning black. But when they come to America, they don't know how to make the distinction to say, I'm not black American. They don't know how to make the distinction, so they will say, I'm not a moreno, basically meaning I'm not a black American, I'm Dominican, letting people know that they're just Dominican. That's all it is. They don't know how to express that. because they aren't aware of the racial dynamics so far here in America. That's all it is. That's all it is. So it comes off as anti-black. It comes off as something that is coming off as, oh, they're racist. If that was the case, there would have been millions of black folks getting slaughtered up in the Dominican Republic every day. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. There's a lot of corruption, yes. Are people disappearing left and right for some weird reason? Yes. Is there femicide? Yes. Is there racism? Of course there is. But is the understanding about them being Afro-Latinos a way to undermine the whole Latin community? No. You know why? Because if we're going to be using that logic, that means that calling yourself Hispanos or Spanish is going against the Latin community. We could use that argument too. Macho, we can use that argument too, Macho. We could use that same argument too, Rancho. We could use that argument. You're going against the Latin community by calling yourself Hispano. You know why? Because Spaniards came and invaded our country. So you calling yourself a colonizer. That's what you're saying. So you're going against your people. That's what you're saying. We can use that logic too. We can also say that you calling yourself a Spaniard or a Hispano is actually going against your own culture. Because if you're calling yourself that, that means you can't go and actually dance certain dances, eat certain things, or even try to live a certain lifestyle. You feel me? We can use that same argument too. And by the way, having Spanish blood does not make you Hispanic, by the way. Actually, it doesn't make you Latin. There's plenty of Latin people that don't have a lick of Spanish blood in them. They're still Latin. You know what I mean? They're still part of that, which is really weird. Why the thing that they try to use, like they try to really use that whole Spanish side. Well, if you have the Spanish blood, that's the reason. What? That's super weird. I've never seen that anywhere. Does that make Black Americans Britons then? They're English, right? They're from England. Is that, if we want to use that argument, we could use that argument, right? That makes no sense. So that means Filipinos should not be called Filipinos. They should be called Hispanics, right? If we really want to do that argument, we can. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. That live stream was 100% pure anti-blackness. And it's not a stretch of the imagination why certain people would be up in there. That Phoenix dude, a racist. Macho, a racist. Rancho, a racist. Yes. All birds of a feather flock together. Come on. And the fact that they go like, no, we're not racist. We just say racist things, you know. We're not Dude, come on now. Come on now. Really? Okay. It doesn't make sense. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It just doesn't make sense. And the fact that these certain people literally believe their own BS it's hilarious. It's hilarious. Now I'm outside of the pointing. I'm just gonna be attacking character now. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. You got one side Macho, right? Who has to call himself something that he's not and contradicts himself on the daily, right? Says that he's for Dominican people, but yet goes out and attacks Dominican women verbally. And through social media, we have the receipts on a constant basis. That's not protecting Dominican people, homie. That's going against them. Stupid. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense. Then, on top of that, I don't know what kind of lifestyle he's living because he's literally drunk 24/7. You feel me? I think he literally pees out. He pees out Henneken. Like, come on, bro. How you pee out Corona? Like that, dude. Let's really look at the people. Y'all really gotta look at the people these people follow. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. If you really listening to somebody who they're contradicting themselves left and right, and they're not even living the lifestyle that they're preaching, it says something. It says that maybe I need to step back and not really follow who I need to be following. You feel me? I'm just saying. I don't know. Am I out of turn? Whatever. But anyway, listen, that's been the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit me up on Instagram and Twitter at the same name, radical_Latino_. Also, Cash App, $ Radical Latino. You can support. Go to my website, radicallatino.com. Go to the news articles. I update them daily. So go to my news article. Radical News is on the tabs. Go to my news articles and get informed on your daily current events and all that good stuff. With that being said, I'm gonna leave y'all with my two favorite quotes. I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees, and if black and brown unity doesn't happen in my lifetime, I might not change the world, but I might inspire the mind that will. With that being said, I'm gonna catch y'all later. Peace!